Welcome to the Unlock Your Limitless Potential podcast. I am your host, Amy Moore, also known as Amy Hates Carrots, and I am a transformational coach, a trainer of many subconscious, somatic, and energetic modalities, and a spiritual business mentor who is here to support you in quieting that darn carrot-chasing ego, aligning to what your soul is calling you to instead, and diving deep within to activate the limitless potential and wisdom that already exists within you now. On this podcast, you'll learn all about your inner world, how to create the reality that you want, how to make decisions that support your truest, most limitless self, and how to create positive and lasting change in your life and your soul-driven business. Thank you so much for being here today. Let's dive in, shall we? Hello, my dear, and welcome to another episode of the Unlock Your Limitless Potential podcast. Now, if you are here around the time of me recording this, we just began a brand new season. Spring 2023 is here in the Northern Hemisphere and autumn in the Southern Hemisphere. And this is actually the start of the energetic new year, meaning that this is a very powerful time to reconnect to your desires, to set your intentions, and your ability to manifest and receive what it is that you want is naturally strengthened at this time of year, not at the start of January like you may have been told in the past or conditioned to believe. And so, if in the past you found yourself in that not so supportive loop that I have done so many times as well, where you are setting these New Year's resolutions or goals for yourself in January, only to find that days or weeks later, nothing is really sticking. Well, a big part of that is because in our modern westernized world, we are at the peak of winter in January. That is a season of hibernation, a natural slowing down of pace and of doing. But there we are, as the humans that we are, setting these huge declarations for ourselves when our energy and our physical body is probably like, it's snowing outside. I just want to read by the fire and take a freaking nap. But it also doesn't mean that you can't take inspired action during the season of winter. There really are no rules when it comes to your goal getting. You always get to decide what feels most supportive for you and what is most aligned for you in this chapter or this season of life that you are in. And so this entire process of goal getting or receiving of our desires or manifestation, whatever you want to call it really just is about expanding your own awareness of self, of listening to your own heart, your soul, your energy, your physical body, and really giving yourself grace, love, and compassion as you ebb and flow through these different cycles and seasons in nature and seasons in your own life. So the goal setting process becomes a goal getting process when you are able to understand your own inner world more and more so that you can support yourself at wherever you are right now and really love and trust yourself through the entire process. And so the intention for our conversation today is to support you in that, to support you in getting the goals that you want this season, in receiving what it is that you want to call in and manifest, and reconnecting with and declaring your desires for the season ahead. But we're going to do this by starting with this first step, and it's the step of celebrating where you already are. So today, I'm inviting you to reflect reflect on the previous year, the previous 4 seasons, or even longer if that feels good and supportive for you, and to look at your journey and your lived experiences over whatever that period of time is from a different lens, from a bird's eye view. Today, we are giving ourselves permission to know that we have these really big desires that we want to receive in the season ahead, in the year ahead, and in the future. But we are first going to honor our journey that brought us to where we are now so that we can really begin to perceive all of those lived experiences that we had with more compassion, with more love, and with more gratitude. And by doing so, we can discover and learn from the lessons that are there, from the gifts that are there, and we can take those things with us. Because what I see happen so easily, and I have done this so many times myself, I see so many people doing this. At the start of a new season, or especially a new year, we can feel like really excited. There's a lot of momentum. There's like this clean slate or a fresh start, a brand new beginning full of limitless possibilities. And while that appears to be a very positive perspective, it's actually tying us to this illusion of starting over again. Almost like imagine like sweeping everything from the past, oops, under this rug as I hit my microphone and putting the rug back down, ignoring it, and then walking away. Or imagine that you are in a race car and you pull up to the starting line and you're just so ready to begin that race. You're ready to step on the gas and just get going into the future. And you set these goals for yourself and you're like, okay, I have 3 months ahead in this brand new season, and I'm going to finally accomplish that thing. I'm going to achieve the thing that I've been wanting for so long. I'm going to finally get this thing done. Let's step on this gas pedal. And so, again, this can feel like helpful. It can feel supportive at times, and giving ourselves a deadline can really support us in levels of accountability that we want to have and all of these things. But do you see that it is also creating these feelings of pressure, of stress, of anxiety, and of separation, whether we consciously realize it or not? Like everything that has happened in the past is now separate from you. And there's this unconscious pressure to get the thing done by the deadline that you have now given yourself again. And so, what is going to happen there? Like, what are we setting ourselves up for? It's going to be really easy to create judgment from that place. If you fast forward from today to the deadline that you've given yourself, let's say it's 3 months from now, let's say it's 1 year from now, the first thing we're going to do when that deadline comes is go, did I meet the deadline I gave myself? Did I do it quote unquote right? Maybe you even achieved the goal that you set for yourself, but what if you had zero fun along the way because it was this horrible, forced, miserable experience where you weren't even having any fun or joy or play? And ultimately, we kind of just limited ourselves to only having the option of two outcomes, either failure over here or success. So, today, I invite you to begin with where you may be used to ending, and that is with reflection. Every year, every season, every chapter of our lives, it gives us so many gifts. But it is up to us to not only see them, but to actually receive them fully. And so, what we decide something means, it's going to determine what we receive from it. And so, we are observing what we have already built for ourselves, both inside and out, throughout all these past chapters, these past years and seasons. And we're going to, instead of sweeping it under the rug, We're going to take it with us, bring it into this new season, and we're going to allow it to continue to expand and grow substantially. So, when something not so great happens, and in that moment, it is all you can see. Like, I'm putting my hands next to my eyes right now. We kind of get like this tunnel vision, and we're so busy navigating through whatever the challenging thing is, whatever it is that we're going through, that it's all we can see. We are in the fog of the problem, and we can't see through it yet. And then when you fast forward days, weeks, months, maybe even years later, it's in hindsight that you are able to really connect those dots very differently. You're able to see the whys behind why things happened how they did. You're able to see how it was actually all adding up for you, and you're able to weave together these life-changing lessons that you couldn't really see until that point in time where you were able to reflect fully on them. And so that is exactly why this process of reflection can be so empowering, because you're choosing to honor your entire journey. And that can be the most empowering first step you can ever take when it comes to getting or receiving the desires that you want. So, how much a season or a year or whatever length of time gives us, that's going to depend on your perspective and what you choose to focus on. And so, as you begin this process of reflection, as you look at the previous year, the previous seasons, or however far back you would like to go, are you going to look at all the things that you did not achieve yet? Or are you going to look at what you did accomplish, the steps that you took, the action that you took, the seeds that were planted, the healing that took place, which doesn't always show up as this instant, obvious, tangible evidence, right? So, like, you're able to dig and you're really going to see all of that expansion and healing that you were able to create, the actual creations you made, and who the heck you were and who you became throughout that process. The weight that we give to the past, it can be really, really freaking heavy sometimes. And so through this process, we're able to shift to see more clearly that some of the greatest gifts are found in the most challenging, heavy lived experiences. And so, by honoring your entire journey, you support yourself in releasing some of that weight and that heaviness. And you can feel so much lighter because you're taking this new level of responsibility for everything in your life, for your entire journey. And so, with that responsibility, as we reflect, we really want to give ourselves a lot of grace, a lot of compassion, a lot of love, especially if or when we notice that perhaps consciously or unconsciously, we may have been giving our power away to others, or we find memories of ourselves blaming things outside of ourselves for why things happened the way they did. Or maybe we discover moments where we saw ourselves just giving excuses for why we weren't doing what we really wanted to be doing or being who we wanted to be. And through this process, we get to release any of that feels supportive and ready to release now. We get to step back into our power and shift from a mindset of life just being something that is happening to us back into the remembering that we get to be the creator of our own life, or the co-creator of our life, along with God, source, universe, spirit, whatever words resonate with you. We get to take all of those past experiences, those memories, and all of the emotions and feelings related to them, and we get to empower ourselves by finding those lessons that are hidden there and applying them and embodying them going forward. We are able to shift from some heavier emotions like shame or guilt or resentment or even victimhood into, and we're able to transmute that into clarity, into confidence, into peace, into compassion, into gratitude. While, of course, always remembering through this process that any emotions or feelings that come up as you do this, or any emotions or feelings that you have had in the past, they are all absolutely valid. And this gets to be a time that you give yourself permission to really allow them to be felt and moved through, especially if in the past they were kind of just shoved down and not felt. This gets to be a time that you are allowing yourself to do that because they are all absolutely allowed. All of the feels, all of the emotions, but we get to choose to not stay in that state forever. Sometimes those feelings, all that they really want is to just be seen and to have the permission by you to be felt. But do you see how when we quickly just jump onto the next thing, or we start chasing the next carrot, or we just sweep stuff under the rug and we move on and jump into this new pressurized starting line that we don't even realize we're doing sometimes? Do you see how we're just skipping this really, really important step? Because you can't control other people and you can't control all of the outside factors happening all of the time, but you can control your response to them. And a powerful creator or co creator knows that and takes ownership of that. They are able to use discernment through that process. And like, how good does it feel to see that, to really reflect back and have the remembrance of, I created this. Like, some of it I love, and some of it not so much. But I get to choose to take my power back, and I get to choose differently now. I get to decide differently now. I get to see things differently now. And I get to receive the lessons and gifts that are there. I always get to decide because I am in control of me. Yes, it feels so good. And then also, do you see how if you do reflect from time to time, but you do so with like too quick of a glance, the things that you wanted to happen, they seem to just have happened like magic. But with proper reflection, you can fully see that there were so many tiny little shifts that took place. There were so many baby steps happening in each and every day, and each lesson wove together and combined into the beautiful, beautiful being that you are now. And so, my love, my wish for you is that you take some time today to reflect, to go on a reflection road trip over your past season, your past year, your past few years, if that feels good for you. And really just give yourself permission to see through a new lens, a new perspective of all of the expansion that took place for you. What were some of the most profound memories or experiences that you had there? And what were the difficult moments? And what gifts are hidden within those moments that are waiting for you to uncover them? What were the greatest celebrations? What was the deepest moments of healing? What were the most beautiful expansions? What pieces of embodied evidence have you created for yourself through your lived experiences? And then who were you being to yourself and to everything around you through all of that? And most importantly, as you do all of that, just really taking the time to dive deeper into what are the lessons that were learned. What dots can you tie together from this higher perspective that you are allowing yourself to now have that you may not have seen before? What gifts are there just waiting for you to unwrap them? Really visualize and allow yourself to get present through this process. Give yourself the gift of celebration. Celebrate those profound moments. Witness any miracles that occurred. Um, just have a dance party every time you realize that you reclaimed your power through those challenging times, and just honor the beautiful expansions and celebrations. I will be here cheering you on as always. I would love to hear about your experience with this. If you want to connect with me on Instagram at Amy Hates Carrots. And if today's conversation really felt supportive for you and you're excited to achieve some big, beautiful goals or receive some awesome desires this season, everything that you heard today is just a teeny tiny piece of just one training inside of my program, Seasonal Shift. Now, Seasonal Shift is a 9-week goal getting journey that takes you beyond the traditional goal setting, vision boards, and action plans. And it really gets to the root of the challenges that have been holding you back from what you want. It's a program that empowers you to break through the wall of limiting beliefs, of old habits and behaviors, so you can finally take the necessary steps to achieve your goals with energy, with ease, and with flow. And doing all of that while looking to nature, looking to Mother Earth as this beautiful seasonal resource and guide to learn how to trust your inner knowing, to find the answers within, and to make those soul aligned decisions that are going to support you and your highest good. So if this is something that resonates with you or you're feeling called to learn more about it, you can visit amyhatescarrots.com for more information on Seasonal Shift, or you can message me on Instagram anytime. The spring 2023 season begins Wednesday, April 5th. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can't even wait to support you much deeper on your goal getting journey. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And cheers to the beautiful season ahead. Yay! Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you have enjoyed this episode, I would be so dang grateful if you shared it with others, subscribed to this podcast, and left an awesome review. You can also connect with me anytime on your favorite social platform at Amy Hates Carrots, or visit amyhatescarrots.com for all of my latest offers and free goodies that will help further support you on your journey. And just as a reminder, you, my dear, are truly limitless, and every single thing that you need is already within you now. You get to choose at any moment to live as the truest version of you and come home to the remembering of your unlimited power. I love you and your gorgeous soul so much, and I hope that you have a limitless day.